been playing a lot of Nintendo games on stream for the past couple of days, and it's been great. I've been having a great time, but a really interesting discussion popped up while I was playing Wario Land 4 on Wii U. A lot of people don't know that this game exists. Like, this is a game that like I grew up with. This is a game like I played growing up. And, it was one of my first Game Boy Advance games. I just randomly picked it out at like a Kmart or something around that time period. I had a great time, right? Like, I was not able to finish it as a kid. I lost my copy. I was very, very young. But it was a game I always wanted to go back and play. And now that I have, I do appreciate it as being like a legitimately well-made, fun, engaging 2D Nintendo action platformer. Like, very, very distinct from other games like it. Even other games in that specific series. Even though it's not quite as good as Shake It or Wario Land 3, I still like this game a lot, and the discussion we were having on stream is that like this game has become relatively obscure over the years, and it's weird for me to think that, considering I picked it up again on Wii U. But I imagine for most people it is like this is a game that most people didn't buy when it first came out. It was the last Wario Land game ever made. They stopped producing them. They started like making these spin-off titles. It seems that like Wario Land 4 itself has been kind of lost in the shuffle, and that's kind of a shame to me. That is an absolute shame, and it really makes me wonder like how obscure are some of my favorite games really? Because I haven't really thought about that. Like I recently like popped in Little King Story and played that a little bit. That has to be obscure by this point. Like it's a cult classic now, but once the fan base dries off, like it's gonna become like very, very obscure, right? Like Sin and Punishment, I'm always talking about that. Like I know how niche that is, but but then like more popular Nintendo games, you know what I mean? Like stuff like Fatal Frame 5. Who do you know who's asking for that to be ported to Switch? The Wonderful 101 was kind of niche. Codename Steam, Ever Oasis, like. There are all these examples of games, like in the past couple of years, or even further back. Back in the Game Boy Advance era, Drill Dozer, or things like Geist, or Bad Kaido's Origins. So many classic Nintendo games that I love. Eternal Darkness. Like I'm just throwing titles out here. So many titles that I love that are critically acclaimed that people really, really love and appreciate. Like how many of these have become obscure in like the common eye? Like probably more than we think, honestly. Like yeah, sure, it's easy to say that, like, oh, everyone knows, everyone loves Skyward Sword or like Wii Sports Resort, but are people going to continue talking about them going forward? You know what I mean? Like what game is going to be considered a classic like 10 years from now, and what's going to be like kind of forgotten, even though it's legit a really good game? I've been really adamant about like protecting and preserving the legacy of Nintendo. That's kind of the drive behind the gaming aspect of my channel. Like talking about how great some of these games actually are. You know what I mean? Like the Federation Forces, the Triforce Heroes, like so many of these games, Star Fox Zeros, the Devil's Thirds, like so many of these Color Splash. Like these games get such a bad rap when they're legitimately great, and I'm personally trying to. How exactly are we going to keep these games relevant? How exactly are we going to keep these games known about? Like how exactly do you keep a game that isn't exactly available through any conventional modern means relevant? Like how will you get people fired up about playing like Wario Land 4? I don't know. I don't know yet. My big plan has always been to like, okay, just become successful and then continue to keep talking about these great games that you grew up with. That's always been kind of my mindset, kind of my goal. Rather than making money off of playing video games like what Ninja is doing or Scott the Paused is doing. Like I'm just going to become successful in my personal life and then just be like, yeah, you should play Wario Land 4. Yeah, you should play Geist. You should play Eternal Darkness. You should play Metroid Prime. Like there are all these games that I just love and just want to see do better and continue to expose to new fans. I want Wario Land 4 to be seen as a legitimately great game on Game Boy Advance. I want more people to talk about it. I want more people to experience it. And it starts right now. Wario Land 4 is a great game, and you should absolutely play it.